flu shots in the office. Have you all ever had to get a flu shot for work?
Many times. Healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Right. Leigh?
Yeah, I wanted to get it. I wasn't like forced to.
Well,
Well,
I have not worked in healthcare. I have worked in food service, but I also once worked at a law firm where we got, and I can't exactly tell you if we were required to get them or not, but I know that they had them set up for us right in the office. And likely because in a law firm, they want you to work as much as possible. So
don't get sick.
Exactly. It's for your care, but more importantly, don't mess up our clients' needs, self-sacrifice. But why I say I can't remember if they were required is they were in the office. And so it wasn't even like a building-wide thing, go to a thing. So we had to sign up. And so I went to sign up and I go into a little conference room and I walk in and there's the nurse with the flu shot. And there's also our head of HR. It's sitting there at the table. And he was like a grown, older man. And
Like
so,
checking people off.
Literally, yes.
No.
And this is why, yes,
God.
yes. And so I remember looking around and like glancing in my mind thinking like, is this a prank camera type show? But of course I'm also like a junior associate, so I'm not going to say anything. So I walk in, close the door and like the blinds down and all these things. But so I sit and I remember thinking to myself, okay, I had like a button-up shirt, like a dorky, like
You had to whip your titty out.
No, I did not. But I
take the arm out.
and I have never in my life been so intentional. Not even like a senior prom picture. I've never been as intentional about how I pose my body as I see him. I'm like, I don't want anything to come out. And he's just sitting there with the clipboard, all of that, watching. So I do my sleeve down. I get my flu shot. I move on with life, and I went back to my desk and I thought, God, working is so freaking weird. And that was it. So that's the time that
God.
At a law firm, HR sat in. So sometimes when you see these comments that are like anti-HR or HR is very strange, I honestly think back to this comment.
Well, yeah.
This situation years later of the time that we had HR is a witness for many type of conversations, but also at times for flu shots.
Very interesting.
You would never catch me doing that.
Well, it's funny that y'all are saying this because now I'm thinking back, and a lot of times in many of the jobs that I've had to host like health fairs.
Yeah.
And typically I always line them up with open enrollment. And so I had flu shots, but I was in the room.
Right, but it's
so
like
now
a fair.
I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, it's a fair. Like, I'm not checking people off. I could give two shits if you got your flu shot or not. Even in healthcare, I don't care either. I just need to know that come flu season, you're going to wear a mask then. And this is even pre-pandemic. And you just have to sign a declination saying you're not going to do it. But I'm like, oh my God, what if that came off as Jamie standing with her clipboard?
Well, but when the people got the shot, did they get to duck behind the thing? Like I've gotten mine.
Yes. Like I usually had.
I had no privacy curtain.
Even when I've done blood drives, like I'll have.
Yes.
Yes.
And people know, like, and also you're like heads up. And so, yeah, like I didn't even think of it because while I knew I was getting a flu shot, I assumed it would be the nursing staff, which it was. I certainly did not think it would be a colleague sitting
marking
there.
Your name off. Ashley Heard.
That guy is overpaid.
Well, also, and a fun
you
fact,
have nothing else to do that day.
Well, a fun fact as well is when I was a summer associate experience at this location as well, we had a big party, and I showed up at the party, and I was the only summer associate in my large office at that summer, and I walked up and he introduced himself to me, and I was like, I lifted up my sunglasses. I was like, it's me, it's Ashley. And he's like, oh, I didn't recognize you. You were wearing sunglasses. And
you had clothes on. I only remember your bare arm,
I really hope we get some like messages of things like this of like, I do, but I know all the time HR gets asked to be a witness to conversations, which is a whole nother thing. And I don't like that. HR should be a resource and a support and a conduit. But point is sometimes they are witnesses for vaccinations. So
in that firm, did you ever have to do randoms? And then what would he sit in there while you piss?
Here, I got your toilet paper. I folded it nicely.
No, thankfully. That's that's next level. But no,
Are you doing that as an HR person? Do you need to?
You don't. You literally
shows a lack of trust. It speaks volumes without saying a thing.
It's
your behavior.
It's stuck with me. And again, I'm a weirdo just like anybody else, and that stuck with me as exceptionally odd. So there we are.
Whether you're taking care of your kids, a senior loved one, or juggling both, we all need a break sometimes. Care.com can help give you that break by helping you find trusted caregivers in your neighborhood. Having help in my corner has made a world of difference. It allows me to be more present and less stressed, both at work and home. It really does take a village. See why 29 million families have turned to Care.com. Find background check, highly rated sitters, nannies, and senior caregivers who can help with everything from watching kids after school to meal prep for seniors. You call the shots, find what's right for you, whether it's full-time, part-time, or even occasional help, all on one simple platform. On Care.com, you can search caregivers, view rates, and find care that fits your budget and schedule. How convenient is that? Check out Care.com to get support and the break you need.
It's that time of the year. Your vacation is coming up. You can already hear the beach waves, feel the warm breeze, relax, and think about work. You really, really want it all to work out while you're away. Monday.com gives you and the team that peace of mind. When all work is on one platform and everyone's in sync, things just flow. Wherever you are, tap the banner to go to Monday.com.
Let's shift over to the agenda. Oh gosh, what do we have today? Let's see. We will kick off this meeting with Cringe Corporate Speak, and I am responsible for that today. And then we will shift to our meeting hot topic, which today, the prompt and the question on our minds is, can you really have friends at work? Gosh, isn't that something to noodle on? And so we'll jump into that. And then, of course, we will save time at the end for questions and comments as always. All right, so I am going to jump right into Cringe Corporate Speak. And today I present to you all the Cringe Corporate Speak of out of pocket. And so how is this used if you've never heard of it? Let's say you're not going to be at work. Perhaps you're in a training, you're doing something else, who knows? You are out of pocket for that day. What the fuck?
I'm quiet vacationing. I'm out of pocket.
I mean, I always envision someone sticking out of the breast
the
pocket.
Wow, I did not go there. Well, I was thinking that cute little pocket on the jeans that seems easy.
So yeah, also cute. I was thinking like the boob pocket. Well,
you're in a boob pocket?
The chest pocket, whatever. I'm stuck on my button-up shirt from my flu shot. But just thinking of that, poking the head over, like my mom when I was growing up on my lunch bag every day, she drove the little character from I think the 60s. I can't remember the name, but holding a sign with the nose sticking over in the hands like that. She would write that and write a note every day on my little brown lunch bag. And so I think about the leader poking out of the pocket just like that.
So that's you in the pocket, right?
It's me in the pocket. Yeah. And so when you're out of pocket, you escape and you flee corporate America's little jeans pocket for the day.
See, for me, it is cringy. I don't think I say that.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
Oh, God.
For me.
What if I have?
Well, I'm sure you have before. If someone says that, then, it kind of goes around and culturally some businesses or teams or whatever.
I'm going to be out of pocket.
I've said it, but I had some Gen Z colleagues when I was doing some consulting work. I said, I'm going to be out of pocket. And they had an intervention with me on our next meeting. And they were like, I don't think you know what that means. And I was like, no, kids, I know exactly what I'm talking about. But they're like, no, you said out of pocket. And we looked, and I guess that can mean out of office, but you should just say out of office for that, because out of pocket nowadays really means you're acting crazy.
Yeah, off the rails, off the chains.
Yeah. I was like, no, it doesn't. It already had a meeting. And so find something else for that to say. But you'll just know, and we'll put this in our newsletter of like the discussion questions, because I do think this one is, I don't know if it's a generational divide. They thought it might be a geographical divide. So they were like asking other people. They're like,
Really?
But
yeah, see, like I say it to my kids, like you're acting out of pocket.
Yeah.
When they're acting up.
I've never heard that.
Really?
Oh, no.
Huh.
And see, I've never liked out of pocket, meaning out of office or not working that day or whatever. Because to me, that then symbolizes I'm typically in a pocket of oppression in corporate America. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm being held in someo's crotch pocket.
I'm held captive.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm literally
in the
being held
shithole.
captive. Yes, it just feels ick. It gives me the ick. Oh my gosh, I don't like out of pocket for being crazy.
No, I don't like it for either. I don't like it for I just don't think I like it for anyway. But I've said it, and now I try to say it to be cool. So now I'm saying it always. But
exactly.
So I know I've mentioned quite a few times now that I'm heading to the beach very soon, and deciding what to pack is always so stressful. The clothes I have either don't fit or worn out or just don't match. But then I discovered Quince, and it's my go-to for high-quality vacation essentials, and it actually makes packing fun. Like premium European linen dresses, blouses, shorts from $30, washable silk tops, premium luggage options, and so much more. The best part, all of Quince's items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands, which I'm a bargain queen. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince is able to cut the cost of the middleman and pass the savings directly onto you. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices with premium fabrics and finishes. I love that. I was able to score the cutest sundress that is the perfect color orange. My favorite color is orange. Go Vols. For my beach trip, I cannot wait to be standing on the beach making my husband take photos of me and my cute new sundress from Quince. So pack your bags and your high quality essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/HRBesties for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/HRBesties to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/HRBesties. Happy shopping. If you're like me, you're still trying to squeeze the last little bit of summer out. So wherever those sunny days take you, a pair of sunglasses should always be within reach. With Pair Eyewear, you can switch from prescription frames to sunglasses for UV protection or polarization in a snap. I personally love how convenient sun tops are compared to carrying another pair of glasses. I keep my sun tops in my car and I switch them out with my outfit for the day. You can browse through top frames. I'm personally a huge fan of the mirror top frames right now. You can explore all the endless possibilities. And what the best part was for me was the virtual try-on. You can browse frames for men, women, and children starting at $60. This summer, you can also set your kid at heart free and explore their new Mickey and Friends collections. They have a bunch of playful patterns and subtle nods to the iconic characters like Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, and so many more. Explore the new Mickey and Friends collections, find your style, and get 15% off your first pair by using code HRBesties at Pair Eyewear. Celebrate friendship and adventure this summer with Pair Eyewear. Go to paireyewear.com, use code HRBesties for 15% off your first pair, and mention that HRBesties sent you in your post-checkout survey to support us. That's Pair, P-A-I-R, eyewear.com, code HRBesties.
Well, on that note, let's get a little out of pocket here, I guess. I don't know. I'm into the loco way.
We're going to end the episode right now.
I know, exactly.
Goodbye.
Bye.
And we will shift to our hot topic of this meeting, which is all about having friends at work. And the burning question is, can you really, really, really have friends at work? What do you think?
I say yes.
Ladies?
I say yes, I do. I say yes, you can. Like you absolutely can. Not with everybody, and you might get burned. but I do.
Yes. Yes. You could definitely get burned. So choose wisely and carefully, especially in HR.
Yes.
Yeah. Leigh?
I would say I love the idea that you can have friends at work. I have made people friends at work. And
Didn't you meet Bestie Mike?
Fucked me over.
Well, not Best. Didn't you work with
College.
Bestie Mike?
College.
Oh, college. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I have always been burned. But again, I look at it as shame on them, not shame on me. So you just have to be careful, right? You have to be really careful. And it's harder for HR. We're typically in a very lonely position.
Yeah.
Where you sometimes it's frowned upon to even have, I'd say friends, acquaintances, absolutely. Lunch buddies, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
people
Right.
that you can go to people, stupid question people, fantastic. But sometimes it may just be you and your client or whoever in it together, lonely as hell, you know? I mean, it's hard. Have you ever been burned? Has anyone ever been burned by a quote friend at work?
I have not yet.
That you know of?
Yeah.
Dum, dum, dum.
Yeah. I haven't been in like a career way. I've seen it. I've definitely seen where people have, I've had more of situations where it's like, you think someone's your friend and then you kind of find out they're like talking shit about you and like, and it feels badly. And it's like, and it's also awkward because unlike the real world or social media where I can block someone, like sometimes you have to like work with that person.
Yeah.
And that feels really shitty. But what about you, Leigh? What in those situations has it been more personal, professional burning, all of the above?
Yeah, well, definitely professional burning, right? So what I've encountered are people attempting to get close to me, always in HR, to get inside scoops or deets or whatever. And then they turn around and they share those things to our shared leader, right? Because they're trying to get the promotion or whatever. And a lot of times I know that's happening. But the thing about me is I am very, hopefully you all can vouch for this, I am very authentically myself. I'm very genuine, sometimes perhaps overly direct. I like to roll my shit in sugar, but, I overshare. And I'm very trusting in that way. I trust everyone at 100%. And I really think shame on them if they fuck me with that information. I'm going to keep being who I am. Now, the second I know someone's a traitor or ugly, they're cut off for me.
Yeah.
And I've done that. And I've told people, I do not trust you. I will only collaborate with you on work-related topics. Like I'll cringe. I will say that like that direct. I've made people cry because I will just let them know. Everyone knows where they stand with me at all times, right?
Yeah.
But I have certainly had situations where people have done that. They see potential in me. What a compliment that I'm going to replace the leader or I'm going to move into whatever role they want. And they will be subversive. They will get close to me and, try and screw me. And I've even had that happen recently. And the leader actually told me. So for months, I knew this person was fucking with me. But that was like a colleague I had to work with.
Yeah.
And so I would even feed her misinformation and find out, guess what?
Yeah. That it came back.
See, you're next level.
I am next level, but I never let her know. I hope she listens to this podcast and hey, you can go fuck yourself.
Bitch.
So you enjoy that promotion and that toxic ass job. That'll kill you. It already is. So enjoy. But I would have done it better, just FYI. But I don't want to work for a place that condones shit like that. See, so I'm not going to compete.
Yeah,
I'm not going to match bullshit for bullshit.
Yeah, I don't want to play that game.
Like that. No, I'm not going to be ugly because it's not worth it for me to lose my integrity and my heart like that. You know what I mean? But so that has happened to me. So part of me is like, I love having acquaintances at work. I love having fun with people. I love having fun at work and joy and lunching. But I have found it hard to make true friends, although I've tried.
It makes me sad, and because you are such a good friend, and we've become very good friends, and so people really are missing out. And any assumptions you make, I have, like I say, I joke, I have a yes face. Jamie has a medium face. She can switch it on or off. It depends. She has a really good skills in that. Leigh can absolutely have a no face, an absolutely no thank you at a conference, for example, to people. But
your badge? No.
But people can interpret that as like standoffish, those things, but it really is to your detriment, because there's so many like layers of beautiful, beautiful friendship and giving and generosity. And so it really is people's loss. And
Thank you.
It's one of the things we say, as a podcast, we are colleagues in a way, in that this is a business.
This is a business. Yeah.
When you hear, our ads and you do things and support us, in part because that's we appreciate it. And we'll do that, as opposed to like, charging you money to listen to the podcast, unless you want to, Venmo. But Leigh has other things you can Venmo her for. But this is our business. And so especially Leigh and I both have our own businesses now, and not having big teams, it can mean a lot to have colleagues. And so those are very deep friendships that we have. They also started as friendships. Like, we didn't start, intending to have things together. So I think that's a difference. But the levels of loneliness at work, or where you spend time, I think, I have absolutely had in almost, pretty much every job I've ever had, people that I still am very deep, close friends with. Yep. It does require next level thinking. Like when I was I felt like I had a better approach with people in HR, because often when I worked in HR, people knew I didn't have like decision-making power. And so people weren't trying to get something out of me. When I was in legal, I did find that, and had people that would want me to review things. Oh, like butter me up. Like sometimes it'd be like a salesperson. And so I'm like, I've been in sales. I know exactly what you're doing right now, and like trying to like, and so, I had to, be a bit standoffish that, and also like say like, I can't like move this to the front of the stack. I'm not going to do that. And that's not fair to put me in a position to ask that, which tends to really put people back on their heels a little bit. But I have some really genuine friendships, and I've had those with people that are subordinates to me. So I was their manager. I've had those with people that are my manager, and I've had those with colleagues. And I do think there's things you have to be aware of, and cautions you have to have, because also, while it can be really joyful to have people that you look forward to working with every day, it can also hurt deeply when things happen at work and they have to have that different angle. And so it requires a lot of intentionality. And that's why when I started out, there's times you will get burned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, as I was listening to you, Ashley, making excellent points. I was just thinking about all the friends, I do air quotes, acquaintances would probably be a better term, that I've had throughout my career in other functions, so not HR, that would get close to me for protection, to kind of use me in that way. And just FYI, I want you all to get close to your HR. You should develop relationships with these people. We are not scary. Some of us are. But us knowing you more helps you. It really does. 9 times out of 10. I can certainly, you can't bullshit a bullshitter. I can certainly tell when people are using me in that way. And unfortunately, that's happened a lot, right? So people trying to get close to me for promotions or whatever. Now, the thing about me is it's easy for me to have a difficult conversation. So I'm not a yes person, as you all know. I'm always making the right decision for the business and its people as much as possible. So it's like, yeah, way to kiss my ass and butter me up, but I'm sorry you did not get that promotion, and here's why. But I've seen a lot of that, right? Like people trying to pretend to be your friends, and it feels great. But it's kind of that sheep and wolves clothing or whatever adage. I suck at adages, but you know what I'm talking about. It's faux.
Employee data is important. And you know what else is important? Backing up that data. In the world of data loss, ransomware, you name it, you need to make sure you have a plan. And if you don't have one, then you should look at Backblaze. All those questions you may have. Wait, is it expensive? It's just $99 a year. How does it work? You get one admin console, and you can use it across multiple machines. They've restored over 55 billion files. Backblaze even has a service where you can restore a hard drive by mailing it in. Now, I personally know of businesses that have had the issue of, oh gosh, we forgot to back it up before sending it out. The cleanup on that was not fun. So seriously, back your stuff up. Sign up for a free trial to see why Backblaze is recommended by Inc. magazine. Go to backblaze.com/HRBesties. That's backblaze.com/HRBesties.
Whether you're taking care of your kids, a senior loved one, or juggling both, we all need a break sometimes. Care.com can help give you that break by helping you find trusted caregivers in your neighborhood. For me and my 800 jobs, I tend not to make much time for myself, or even my husband and I. That's when the guilt sets in. One evening, after a particularly challenging day, my husband ended up convincing me to go out to dinner with him. We ended up having a simple, quiet dinner and a long, uninterrupted conversation, something we hadn't done in months. Having help in my corner has made a world of difference. It allows me to be more present and less stressed, both at work and home. It really does take a village. See why 29 million families have turned to Care.com. Find background check, highly rated sitters, nannies, and senior caregivers who can help with everything from watching kids after school to meal prep for seniors. You call the shots, find what's right for you, whether it's full-time, part-time, or even occasional help, all on one simple platform. On Care.com, you can search caregivers, view rates, and find care that fits your budget and schedule. How convenient is that? Check out Care.com to get support and the break you need. While we've been having this conversation, I've actually thought back, and even back from my first job out of college, there's people, coworkers that I still talk to on a regular basis that I consider my friends. But I think there's also a clear distinction, right, between like a coworker or a colleague that's your friend in the office, but then there's the outside office friends, right? So all the people that I would consider a true friend are people that I form relationships outside of the office. And like we've hung out not once, but maybe I know your kids. I've been to your house. You've been to my house. You know my kids. We've planned things together. I've called you my work wife. Like we'll come in, thinking of someone very specific right now. And I think she listens to the pod, but we would, Meredith, we would literally come in and we would be wearing almost the exact same outfit. But we had a mutual trust. She wasn't in HR. She was actually the executive assistant. So it's like, you don't know when you're going into a new friendship if this is someone who can be trusted. So it's like, especially in HR, it's just such a fine line. So it's really just like almost wobbling on, I'm not going to open up to this person. There will be no company information shared unless it's like general company knowledge. And then when you really start to trust that person and know, and you're still like, oh, I gotta be leery. But then, this person had a lot of information too. It was almost like having another HR colleague. But yeah, I mean, it's the trust outside of work. I think that builds the most.
I love that approach. And I think that when you were saying that, I thought back to my first job out of college, or my first job out of college was actually in HR, but my second was like sales. And when I was in DC, and my friend Cassie, who's now, she and I were like two of the only people that did that cold calling job that are now both that ended up going to law school.
The FUBA?
We did the FUBAs. We had the FUBAs together, and she's now has a kick-ass lawyer job. But we became friends through, I think like a shared misery. Sometimes it's like a shared misery, and so we ended up becoming really close. And like we would like always be like, okay, get on the last train on the orange train. So we'd like roll into work together, and, we were having a bad day. And so I do think that's a really good bellwether of like, is this person a friend? Would I want to hang out with them outside work? Do I trust them? And in having in your mind for a long time, if being careful about the information that you share if things were to go south. And so sometimes it's thinking about, are you in like competition with this person? Are you judged against each other? Because that can lend to those tough dynamics. But I just think like some of the valuable friendships. I mean, I've had, some workplaces, like when I worked at KFC. KFC is notorious our team was very good, friends in and outside of work. And it's kind of lightning in a bottle. And my first in-house job, I loved Sunday nights. I loved going to work and working with these people as genuine friends. I still text with almost all of these people. And so I do think there's a power in that. And it's in going through those human experiences. I've had people I've lost that have passed suddenly in those situations, and it hurts deeply. But then having that level surround you, or I've talked about situations, both my parents being ill, their colleagues that stepped up and really did things out of friendship, not obligation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think there can be a power in it. It's just about having to be careful. And it's like life. Mm-hmm. Like in life, you're going to have friends that disappoint you down. True. It just is harder when it's at work, and it can add a lot more, terrible dynamics.
No, but the trauma bonding is real. And especially early career to mid-career. Oh, yeah. You need that to survive and learn. Or
a very toxic work environment.
Absolutely.
That's actually a name of a text group that I have with former coworkers. It says trauma bonded.
There you go. I mean, so that is key. It's just as you continue to move up in your career, it becomes almost damn near impossible because it just becomes so freakishly political. Yes. Having recently left a toxic job, thinking I had some friends, not this treacherous one, the traitor one, but others, right, that I would actually see outside of work. That the work environment is so extremely toxic and just run with fear. When those folks that you form genuine relationships and connections with will not contact you because they're threatened not to contact you. Right. And they're just trying to stay employed. God bless them, So I get that, but it's
it hurts.
Is anything real? It does hurt.
What were those 3 years?
Well, that's why I do think it's why I think having some networking groups and finding your people. And so I know we've had the LinkedIn Cringe episodes, but at times you can find people on LinkedIn that are, again, people you may not ever meet in person, but people that support each other genuinely. And again, people often are in different industries, but go through those same. There's a lot of women's groups. I know that I've been a part of things like that. And those can be helpful as well, to have people that you can call on and be your people. And so I think sometimes it is looking outside of work. I do agree with you, especially as you move in your career, it can be harder to really have that genuine trust.
That's an excellent action right there. I love that. That's great advice. All right. So transitioning to questions and comments. Ladies, do we have any questions or comments?
Yeah. I have a question. Quick question. Who is she, and can I kill her?
Don't worry. Karma's a bitch.
Yes. Karma is a bitch.
That's what I believe. I don't.
I 100% believe it.
And watch.
and sometimes we don't get to see karma come back, but know that she always comes with a vengeance.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
And people like that are already living horrific lives.
Yeah.
Lonely, sad lives. Yep. And that's absolutely true in this case, So, that's all the best, really, because you're going to need it.
Good luck with that.
Because good luck with that.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments, Ashley?
What is something that a work acquaintance or something has done for you, very nice at work that stuck out to you?
I mean, I am working with someone right now that I've worked with on and off for the last 10 years. And when I had my oldest, who will be 7 in a few short weeks, she came to my house. Well, she came to the hospital, but she also then came to my house, brought me a full meal and a dessert that is to die for. And matter of fact, she is making me that dessert again this upcoming Monday. Because I still talk about that. It's this lemon cake, but a berry trifle. Oh. She's an insanely good cook. she's probably one of my closest work besties who's turned like real life bestie. She has a farm. I've gone to her farm. My boys have gone. She like knows my boys. When her father was sick, I was there for her. When my mother was sick, we are not just coworkers anymore. So she's just done things for me that I am very thankful for. And she's a huge piece of my life now at this point.
Oh, I love that. I've been sent flowers and alcohol and gift cards and whatever, just gifts of appreciation, which I love. That means a lot, right? When people recognize you and see you out of their own pocket, like in a personal way. But what's always meant most to me are the handwritten letters. And so I love the words of affirmation and that sort of attention there, things that are heartfelt. And I think when people take the time and effort to do that, that's incredible. And so I do have a box of like all the handwritten notes and cards that I've received throughout my career, and so that just reminds me that, oh, okay, I make a difference, so those things mean a lot to me. What about you, Ashley?
I had she was a colleague, then she became my direct report, and then it was always a friend, Natalie, from KFC, from KFC legal team, Natalie, who now lives in Montana. She moved and lives, like near Yellowstone.
Ooh, visit.
She retired out there. Yeah. So she was always just very thoughtful, very funny, helped prank my office. I loved working with her, but also two things. One is we had international night, and I was supposed to make latkes for my kids' school, and I didn't know how to make them. And so I made they were basically hash browns, and I was showing this picture to the team of this contraption that I made, and she laughed. And so she remembered, and so she ended up getting me a little chopper, a chopper, so I could chop and make them. And it was months later, very thoughtful. And then right before we moved to Australia, she handmade hats for my kids, for sun hats, because she read, which is true. There you have to, because there's the hole in the ozone layer. I don't know if you remember that. It's a real thing. It's over Australia. And so you have to wear hats when you're outside playing. And so she made these very cute hats for my kids. And it was that type of handmade thoughtful. And very thoughtful.
God, I love that.
Yes. Natalie listens to HR Besties. She comments on our stuff. So now this will be my test if she's listening to this episode. No, I'll give her a flag, but
I'm hoping for an invite.
Yes,
I would take a girls' trip.
She will. She absolutely will.
Yellowstone
yes,
on a ranch. Oh my God,
totally,
yes.
Totally. Although she posts a lot of pictures of bears around town, so I may need her to back off those a little bit and just let me live in denial. So, yeah, but Nat is great.
Oh, shout out to Nat. Is it my turn for a question or a comment? So, just a quick question, not a comment. No, not a question, but a quick comment. It is a comment. Maybe it's some rhetorical questions. I don't know. But what I would say is that toxic workplaces do not exist on accident. Okay. They exist because of people. And some people are assholes. There's assholes everywhere. And so if you are an asshole in the workplace, just let that be known. And what I mean by that is be upfront with people as much as you can, don't be manipulative. There's no need for that bullshit. Life is short. Okay. Try and win something on your own merits for once. I give you that test there, but, the workplace is only healthy if we all dedicate our time to making it healthy. I mean, that's just how it is. So as someone who's been burned by people in the workplace, multiple times, especially my handful of sociopathic, literally had them tested, narcissist bosses, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? The reason why they do that is because they have nothing better to focus on and nothing great going on at home. And that just sucks for them. Yep. Right. So I always remember that. But it is not a reflection of you. If you are being manipulated by someone who's pretending to be your friend at work, they are totally exploiting your good heart. And that's a shame on them, not a shame on you. Right. So hang in there. pick up on the cues and red flags, and be as open and honest in your relationships with colleagues and in your personal life as much as you can. So just people know where they stand, right? Not in an ugly way. But again, there's no reason to bullshit anybody about anything. There really isn't. So communication is key.
Amen.
That's my comment there. And also fuck you if you phone me.
Yeah. I have a hard stop.
Jamie's hard.
I got a hard stop. I'm about to go get out of pocket on Leigh's ex-friend.
There you
Amen.
go. Ooh, take a picture. Special evidence. Oh gosh. Well, on that note, we appreciate you, besties. We consider you friends. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
We're definitely in this together, and thank you. So continue to like, follow, and share.